Welcome everyone to the Ryan the Ride Mechanic Show. How are you doing today? I'm Ryan the Ride Mechanic. Listen, I wanted to do something that I did a while back and I want to do it again. I wanted to make a intro video. I know I've already got a bunch of videos on the channel, but I want to do an intro video, so let's get into it.
Now get ready. Here we go.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to say a big thank you for everyone who shows up. I really appreciate it. Just recently, my channel got very big. My opinion, very big. Some people are like, well, it's not very big, but yeah, if you've been following me, I've been around for about 3 years now, intermittently making videos here and there. And just in the last couple weeks, my channel has grown 6 times in size. So it's gotten really big for me, and that's always something I wanted. So let me start off and say a little bit about myself. My name is Ryan, of course, and I made this channel because I was a ride mechanic for 14 years, and it was some of the best 14 years of my life. It was the most awesome, amazing thing I could do. I loved rides growing up as a kid. I always couldn't wait to go to amusement parks and spend time there and ride on roller coasters and everything I get on. But as I was there doing that, I had a fascination, a genuine fascination for how the rides worked. Not just the basics, I mean like how gearboxes worked and how motors moved things around and the sheer size and complexity. And there was something just fascinating about how rides worked in general. So as I got older, I came to a split in some jobs, and I had the opportunity to apply for a local amusement park. And I actually got the job, and it was so amazing. So I went there and I started working with amusement rides, and very quickly got to be a lead mechanic on a bunch of the roller coasters, and then got moved up into management, and then I became a supervisor for 7 years out there as well for the ride maintenance department. So I've done everything from, when I started, I was working on go-karts, which was kind of close to my background. Before that, I had come from a body shop actually working on cars, and I was building race cars. I actually raced cars for about 6 years, full-size, late-model stock cars. So that was super fun too. So I went from racing stock cars to working on roller coasters. A bit of an adrenaline junkie, I think. So anyways, during that time, it's quite an amazing thing. I would have killed for any of this information that I'm making right now prior to that job. I was absolutely begging for anything I could anywhere. Anytime someone had a picture of something or knew something about how a ride worked, I was there. I wanted to see it. I wanted to listen to them. I wanted to talk to them. I would do anything like that. By the way, if you're new to this channel or haven't really explored it yet, please like and subscribe. That way you too can get on the rest of the content that I make for everything else. I plan on some pretty good videos coming up. My style is I mainly sit here freeform and talk in front of the camera. I try to include videos when I can, and every once in a while I try to do some demonstrations of things that I know and I can use applied knowledge for them. So back to the job. It's kind of interesting when you work at an amusement park, you don't necessarily have the time to do things like this. Plus, you get a lot of policies in the way. So there's a lot of things like when I worked there, you couldn't take pictures of things, and you couldn't put information that you wanted to on social media and things like that, because the park was very controlling about all that information. They wanted to make sure everything was broadcasted in the right light and nothing bad was being said. So it comes to afterwards, it's like, well, all the videos and pictures that I have are basic information that almost anybody can get and see. So there's nothing real critical going out. Another thing that's also one of the reasons why the number one question people ask me is like, say, do you still work for an amusement park? I say, no, I do not. I've been out of that line of work for 5 years now. And they say, what was your home park or what was your company? It's like, it's honestly information I just don't want to give out. If you watch my videos, it's really easy. Just listen to me talk about stuff. It's really easy to figure out what park I worked for. I'm not trying to keep it a secret, but I don't want to broadcast that park and say, I worked for this park, I worked for this company, because when I do that, a lot of people kind of get the idea that I'm representing that park or I'm representing that company, which I'm not in any way, shape, or form representing that park. I'm not representing that company. And when I talk about manufacturers, even manufacturers I've worked with very closely, I'm not representing that manufacturer either. This is strictly just my opinion and how I do things. That's the basis of the video. That's where I'm coming from. Now, I've gotten a good chance to do everything. Like I said, I've worked on go-karts starting up. I came through, I was a mechanic on an SLC roller coaster by Vekoma. I also, because it was another Vekoma, I also worked on a boomerang a lot. Got to do that. I've worked on B&M roller coasters. I've worked on Intamin impulse roller coasters. I've worked on, GCI wooden coasters. I've worked on RMC roller coasters. I've worked on Premier roller coasters. I've worked with a ton of Zamperla rides, a couple of small chance rides, some little flat stuff, and a handful of Huss rides. And I'm probably leaving some stuff out of there. I've also been cross-trained at another park, one other park. It's not a common thing to travel, but I've been slightly cross-trained at another park for various reasons. So things I want to do on this channel. On this channel, what I'm doing is I'm going over things that people might not understand about rides. Things that people like yourself showed up for. People say, well, how does this work? How does that work? And I want to give a little bit of insight because I have knowledge. The stuff I know about is not stuff you can go and find on the internet really easily. And you can't just Google it and say, oh, this is how it, like, oh yeah, some of that information is there, but I have some really interesting back information that ties all that information together. Things that are, it's quite fascinating. And to sit here at a one shot and just recall that information, it's really hard to do. But you'll see in some of my videos, as I get into it, I kind of sometimes spiral off subject a little bit because it's some of that information that I find quite interesting, and I wanted to add it out there. I love to make videos. I don't spend a lot of time doing over-the-top animations or, extreme editing or anything like that. And I also don't really script my videos because I want just everything freeform to be as if you came to me and asked me a question. So the one thing that after gaining a bunch of subscribers that I really I love is just when people comment on the videos. I love that because you guys out there, the subscribers, you guys have some of the most amazing comments and stories. And I've gotten all sorts of stories and comments and little things from people that are just, you don't get this stuff anywhere else. So it's one thing just to see a video along that lines, but it's another thing just to, hey, if you've got time, scroll through the comments and look at them. People put a lot of interesting information in there. They put a lot of interesting stories in there. I will also respond. I try to respond to pretty much everything, whether it's just a thumbs up or if it's an actual comment back. If you go over my about page, basically, on the YouTube channel, I have an email address there. And it's an open email to go to ask questions or send a picture. Some people, I say, I can't describe it, but here's a picture of this thing, like on this ride. What is this or what's it do? And you can go over there. It's really simple to remember. If you can remember my channel name, Ryan the Ride Mechanic, it's actually, my email is ryantheridemechanic@yahoo.com. Pretty simple. And I check that not every day, but I try to check that every couple days, and I get back to people when I can about the information there. So that's always a way to get a hold and say, hey, I have this question or I have this picture. What do you think about this? On the channel, things I don't really do. It's like I don't really go do park reviews and things like that. I don't judge roller coasters on elements and different types of things going on inside the ride, like the actual how the ride is. I don't really judge stuff on that. Do I still like to go to the parks? Yes, I do. Do I still ride rides? Absolutely, all the time. The recent video that gained me a bunch of subscribers, which was the crack support column on the Fury 325. Just in doing that video and listening to everybody's information and seeing more pictures and everything about it, I really want to get over there and ride that ride. That looks pretty awesome. I really want to go do that. I've always been very interested in what I call contraptions, things that are not quite simple rides out there. There's a lot of them not roller coasters. Always been very fascinated with drop towers. Growing up, I went to a park in Northern California that was Marriott's Great America at the time, turned to Paramount's, and now it's California. But they had an original Intamin freefall there, which is the kind, it's got about 100-foot tower, and then it's got the big 90-degree curve at the bottom where the cab turns sideways, and then you slide down underneath the track. That thing was so amazing to watch operate. I just love to sit there and watch that thing. So incredible to operate. And then even to this day, I still have a kind of a fascination with drop towers. Why? I don't know. Do I love to go on drop towers? Kind of scare the crap out of me. I know it's safe. I have no problem with it. But, I was like, the anxiety kind of gets to me. And I say that a little bit like, oh man, that was scary going up the side of a 250-foot tower. I went to Magic Mountain and I got on Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom. And if you know that thing, the side of that thing is 400 feet high. I could have sworn halfway up I was going to have a panic attack. And I have no problem working at heights and stuff like that. I don't know what it was about that ride, but it got to me. I get off and my kids say, hey, you want to ride that again? I'm like, no, I don't. That crossed my threshold for stuff. But accelerator rides and stuff like that, sure. It's like even at Magic Mountain there, I went on that, what is it? It's like an Intamin free spin, the Green Lantern when they had it up. I thought my eyes were literally going to pop out of my head. That was amazing. Another thing, speaking of things like that, I try not to trash talk anything. I don't want to get out there. I don't want to breed a community of just hate. I don't want to do that at all. I want to keep things positive. And like I say, things aren't the best and things weren't done in the best manner, but I don't just want to make videos. I see a lot of times people do that. They're just trying to just hate on a manufacturer or hate on a ride or something like that. And I'm like, at the end of the day, everybody tried really hard to do this stuff. And the park spent a lot of money in it, and everyone's trying round the clock to make things work. So it's like, that's one of the things about maintenance. Maintenance always gets a black eye when it comes to how things run, even though a lot of times it's completely out of their control. So that's all I ask is just take everything with a grain of salt and try not to hate on things right off the bat, and take that and apply it everywhere in life. Well, I'm talking about things that was really fun to do, and one of the things that got me where I am, the roller coaster, kind of shuttle loop coaster that I loved growing up, actually was also at Marriott's Great America, which was a tidal wave. It was a Schwarzkopf shuttle looper, but it was one of the original. There was only 14 of them made, which was one of the weight drop style shuttle loops, and that was very interesting. I actually got to see the inside of that thing, literally the inside of it and its guts and how it worked. Really amazing piece of machinery, just everything working together on there. Fun fact, it's like I was quite amazed at the counterweight that they used inside the tube at the other end. It was an 84-ton counterweight pulling down that cable to launch a train out of there. That was a very interesting contraption. That always kept me very occupied watching that ride run. That was something else. So wrapping it up as a recap, do I still work in the amusement industry? Nope, I've been out for 5 years. Do I have a home park and everything? Yes, just don't want to disclose it just because I don't want to be an unintended representation of that park or that company. And then the last thing is, for everyone here, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing. I love the comments. Keep them coming. And we'll start up with some normal videos here soon, shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.